Is there a secret city underneath the Denver airport? Why did Obama mysteriously appear at the airport moments before a would-be natural disaster? Who paid for this new airport anyway? Find out today on Purgatory. What's going on, freaks and freakettes? I'm Mad.
And I'm Spike. Thanks so much for tuning in. Check us out on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and more. If you want to support the show, check out the link in the description. You can pledge to the show via anchor.fm. Give us a like, share, wherever you're hearing this. This will help us grow. We're just getting started. We really appreciate the help. Drop us a comment. Let us know what you think, because we love to hear from our listeners. We're pretty much everywhere now. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on like all the major platforms, which is awesome. And there's the voice memo thing on the Anchor app. You can send us like a voice message. And official Purgatory Podcast at gmail.com. That's our Gmail address, obviously. So that's all the ways you can get a hold of us. Let us know what you think. So what do you got today, Madman?
All right, I'm going to talk about one of my favorite, I guess, like, I don't know if this is like an urban myth or like some kind of conspiracy of some sorts, but I've known about it.
Definitely a conspiracy.
Yeah, I mean, for sure conspiracy, but it's just so, I thought it was so wide known, but apparently a lot of people don't know about it.
I had no clue.
Yeah, you didn't know about it.
No
People
idea.
at work didn't know about it. But I just like grew up watching like conspiracy videos on like YouTube, like top 10 weirdest USA facts or just random videos like that. And this one always like stuck with me just because like you never really think about there being secret places like dressed up as like airports or malls or whatnot. So this is the Denver airport.
Well,
and,
I've heard some kind of things like this, and I'm gonna stop you real quick before we get into
go
it,
ahead.
because I've heard stuff like this before, or rumblings of it about like secret stuff that's off the books, and it's still government somehow, or like that stuff that's like blurred out on Google Maps.
Oh, that stuff's weird. Yep.
Yeah. Not to interrupt you.
No, yeah. I mean, that's a great little tangent to go on. Just because I have a friend who, he has a relative that like worked at like Guantanamo Bay.
Oh yeah.
And he said there's like a lot of stuff goes on there.
Mm-hmm. I bet it's in Cuba. It's kind of off the books in a way.
Yeah, 100%. Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, getting back to the subject, just kind of starting it off. I put some images in the Google Doc for you to see, but the first one is like the airport layout. Now, a lot of people say that like the layout resembles a swastika. I can kind of see it. And people say like the definition given for why they chose this design is so you can use each kind of runway continuously, without having to stop another one.
The whole swastika thing is kind of a stretch. I mean, I guess it looks like that. It's kind of how people see happy faces in like everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a stretch. I can see it, but it's like, I don't know.
Exactly. Well, I mean, even if like it is being made by Nazis, I don't know why they would go out of the way to make this look like kind of a swastika and not just go on full on swastika. You know what I mean? Because it does resemble it. I would agree with that, but I don't think it looks just like it.
Yeah. And this is, just to clarify, this is the main Denver airport. Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, and then so I mean that's just like the layout. That's pretty much like the intro of all of this. Kind of like get ready for some weird shit is what that's saying to you.
Okay.
Or should be saying. All right, so next below we have the Mustang. Something truly creepy is a blue horse statue outside the airport itself, titled the Mustang, but nicknamed Blucifer by conspiracy theorists all around the world. All right, this statue is 32 feet tall and 9,000 pounds. Its eyes glow red at all hours of the day and night, causing some to speculate that the statue is meant to represent the fourth horseman of the apocalypse from the biblical book of Revelations.
Wow.
The fourth horseman specifically represents death. All right, so all that is so creepy, right? I mean, if you look at it, it looks like terrifying.
It does. That thing is horrifying.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty scary, right? Now, the scariest part is that the artist that created the statue, Luis Jimenez, it was gonna be something like that. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. Was actually killed by the statue in 2006. Before the statue was completed, a piece of the statue fell on him and severed an artery in his leg.
What the fuck? That sucks.
So that already is like some haunted ass shit right there.
And they were like, "Let's just press on. Let's
Yeah,
keep
they were
it
like, all
here."
right, glue the piece back on, and then
Yeah.
we didn't pay this guy for nothing. All right,
Oh my gosh, that's horrible.
it's
So
like
now, like, that guy's family has to see this thing, and everybody that knows about the story has to see this murderer of a statue.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Well,
You'd think
just
they would have been like, let's put a different one up, or let's
yeah. I mean, like
make it an angel this time.
I would not keep going. Like it's like this accident caused like a man's life. You know, I don't know. I just thought that was like super weird. But yeah, I mean, look at that thing.
Yeah, it's
32 feet.
very odd. Look this thing up if you're listening. Lucifer, Denver Airport. I'm sure it'll come up. It's very, very odd, very unsettling. And it's 32 feet tall. That's a massive
feet tall.
statue.
Yeah, it's got like some like corrosion underneath. I don't know if you see that.
Like a reddish. I thought that might have just been part of the statue.
Yeah.
But it's fucking scary. We'll go with that. It's scary. It's got like yellow teeth. Dude needs a brush.
Yeah. And then now the next thing, I don't know, it's kind of weird. This one could really just be a stretch, but if you look on the ground of several tiles around the airport, there's this little minecart and with the symbols AU and AG. And now if you look at the like the meaning behind those, people would say it's like gold and silver for like the periodic table.
Yeah.
But there's a rumor that one of the founders of the airport had actually discovered a new deadly strain of hepatitis known as Australia antigen, also called AUAG. It is rumored that AUAG could also be a potent weapon in biological warfare. The symbol rests on the ground directly in front of the biological warfare mural.
Well, that's fucking weird.
Yeah, that's super weird. So like this guy that supposedly one of the founders of the airport discovered this new deadly strain that is supposed to be like the future of like chemical warfare or biological warfare, and it's like said to like be able to like wipe out the world's like population. It's supposed to be like
According to who did he find this thing though? Was he a biologist? Did he do that for a living, or it seemed that, like you said, that seems kind of like a stretch because I mean those are the symbols for the periodic table for, you know.
That's why I say this one's like a stretch. You know what I mean? Because like that whole like he discovered this is hearsay. You know what I mean? Whereas
yeah, I mean
it's in a minecart.
I'm pretty sure there's some golden. I could be completely wrong here, but I'm pretty sure there was a mining culture in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, this could be just part of the paying homage to the gold and silver rush. But I definitely know that some of the trails west to California went through Denver.
Oh yeah.
So for the gold rush, and when you go into any airport, there's just kind of local stuff in the airport. Like I went into the Boston airport one time and they had like a giant mural of Tom Brady.
Oh baby.
And I was like, what the fuck?
You were like, hell yeah.
It's like a big picture of him hanging. It wasn't a mural on the wall, but it was like a big picture of him, and I was like, damn, this dude is Mr. Boston.
Yeah. That's dope.
Yeah. Goals. Life goals.
Airport goals.
Yeah.
Dude, we need a new. Okay, never mind. Nothing. I was gonna say we need a new airport, but I really don't want to disclose our location in case the feds are watching.
I'm pretty sure we've said before that we're.
Yeah, no, I'm just joking.
In the metro.
Yeah. No, but I think we really do need a new airport. Our airport sucks.
Didn't they say they were doing like a massive renovation?
Yeah, I think so.
But it's gonna take like 7 years to do or something like that.
It's gonna take some time. All right. All right. So the next picture, as you can see, it's a devil coming out of a suitcase. There's no explanation for this one at all. People, I mean, I was looking this one up. There's so many people just saying like, oh, this represents the luggage lost in World War II, and the demon is the Nazi. I think that's personally a stretch. Yeah, this one, like, no one has like traced back its roots or whatnot. They just speculated.
You think there was probably an artist responsible for it. I wonder why they don't have a, because usually the artist would be like, this represents the futility of mankind, like they always have that goofy ass explanation for something.
Yeah, I couldn't find anything for it. But yeah, I mean, it looks weird, but I guess all art looks weird if you. I mean,
Well, it
if you're
kind of
not an artist.
yeah, and it goes along with the whole horrifying horse outside.
Yeah. Um, it could just
Dude, look
be.
at that ceiling. They need to
Oh
they need to
wow. I
fix
didn't
that
even think
ceiling,
about.
bro. Got some roaches up in there. That's where
That's
they're
some
hiding the Illuminati, is right above the false
asbestos.
ceiling.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. I mean, not much to say for that one. It's just weird. If you guys are listening, just look up Denver Airport Devil in a Luggage art piece. No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. But that was just strange. Now the next part is probably my favorite part. I think it's really really weird.
Oh, it's a
So
Masonic thing.
yeah. I mean, this is kind of like the centerpiece of the airport. This is kind of just, I mean, first of all, it's a time capsule. It says right here, the time capsule beneath the stone contains messages and memorabilia to the people of Colorado in 2094. So this has yet to be opened. We're gotta wait a couple more years, but it's weird. All right, okay. So it's a time capsule. It's not meant to be opened until 2094. Underneath, there's like the stonemason symbol, right?
Hmm.
And that has always given people like bad vibes, but it
There's
is
all
like
kinds of crazy
things
legends
like
about the Masons. Whether you believe that or not is whatever, but there's all kinds of shit about the
yeah.
Masons out
Um,
there.
I don't want to kind of spread false fires to them because
Mhm.
I I mean obviously they could be good or bad, but it's just weird that this was included. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um,
well, just to say that there are a lot of conspiracy theories that talk about the Masons is not defamation. There
yeah,
are.
yeah,
There's a lot of people that talk about the Masons in that way. I've known Masons and seen Masons, and they just are kind of dudes that, from what my experience with them, they're just dudes that wear weird hats and meet once a week and do charity work, and you know. Um,
exactly. Yeah.
so I've never seen anything sinister other than YouTube videos talking about it. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
Especially in modern times, because they're always like in 1829 stonemason 37th degree stonemason blah blah blah, and I'm like that was a long time ago. But this is interesting, um, that there is this Masonic thing in the Denver airport where there's all this demonic looking stuff
Yeah.
around it.
Yeah, and then I don't know if you notice right underneath the stonemasons symbol it says March 19th, 1994, and then right under that it says the New World Airport Commission.
Hmm.
Now, to some listeners, that may sound similar to like the New World Order,
Right.
which is kind of the vibes that everyone seems to be getting from this. And then people have tried to research, and there's no such thing as the New World Airport Commission. Like,
Huh.
there's no traces of it at all.
Weird.
Isn't that like super like strange and like off-putting? Like, I don't know. That's like
That's so bizarre. Because
yeah,
you'd think there'd be like this is Stanley Johnson, the chairman of the New World Airport Commission. He and his wife Tammy have a daughter. You know, you would think you could have, like, they'd have a website.
yeah, like I
If
don't
they're
know, or
putting
some kind of cover story.
well, if they're putting a time capsule in the Denver airport, you'd think there'd be you know what I mean, a paper trail of some
Hmm.
kind. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
weird.
And then so like this is kind of just saying like who funded it and like how it started. Um, Something people don't really know is that the Denver airport was commissioned in 1989 at the cost of $1.7 billion. Now that seems pretty reasonable. You know what I mean? It's an airport. It's going to be used for like years and years and years.
Hmm.
But the airport was actually finished in 1995, 2 years late, at the cost of $4.8 billion, roughly 3.1 billion over budget.
Wow.
Yeah. So what I think is kind of weird is, all right. So I mean, I don't know anything about the construction, or I'm not claiming to, but it's gonna cost 1.7 billion, right? So that seems reasonable. But like to go 3 billion over, is that like normal for construction? You know what I mean? Like let's say it
That
costs
seems
1 million.
like a lot. Like
Yeah, that seems like a
to
lot of money going.
miscalculate by that much
Yeah.
seems pretty ridiculous.
And then I mean, that being put together by the fact that it says it's like it was made by the New World Airport Commission, and you try to look that up and there's nothing there. You know what I mean? It's like you reach the end. You know what I mean? There's nowhere else to go from there. Um,
Well, here's something that I'm pretty sure about is I believe that Colorado has a lot of unions in it.
mhm.
And I mean, most construction unions, if it's a union state, then most construction or blue collar jobs are going to be union. You know what I'm saying? And So a lot of, and you know, have you heard about like the Jimmy Hoffa story and all the mob stuff involved with the union?
Yeah.
And there's even like Illuminati conspiracies about unions.
Got you. Got you.
So
Got
if
you.
this construction, I mean, and this is 100% speculation.
Yeah.
If this construction was a union job, that could be another layer of this.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
big payout. Big payout.
Right. Yeah, because these unions have tremendous pull in even in Washington.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. These are age old.
Yeah.
But then so like to add even like a weirder aspect to it, Denver already had, or I guess Colorado already had another airport, Stapleton, that made people like just fine. It was all right. There was no problem with it. It was only 6 miles away. So there really wasn't like a need to build another airport unless you were trying to cover up something that was going on underground, is what a lot of people are theorizing.
So it's
Yeah.
a diversion, like it's another construction process that they can kind of and essentially divert attention or launder the money for the other construction.
Exactly. They can say, oh, the money is going to this airport. You know what I mean? And they'll say like that's, you know what I mean? There's no more questions to be asked. It's going here. You know what I mean? No one can really bring anything up because they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna need $100 million for, let's say, the mechanics. You know what I mean? They can just
Right.
like cover it up with like certain terminology that people that are covering this wouldn't really understand.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean that's just weird. I was reading about like how supposedly there was like 5 buildings, like different story buildings built first, and then they called that a mistake. So then they just covered it up with like asphalt. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So for sure, there's like there's blueprints out there of like there being like underground buildings already, and then the
Wow.
airport has said that they're using those for storage. But these are like several floor buildings. You know what
Why
I mean?
would you bury a building for storage? That
Exactly.
doesn't make any sense. It would be
not
way cheaper, more cost effective, and easier to build above ground.
Yeah, exactly. And there's 5 of them. There's not just like one. There's 5 of them.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, that's a. Woo! I'm starting to get the
So I get
chills
the
on
chills.
this one.
Yeah, it's just so weird like talking about this because it's weird. You know what I mean? It's so strange.
Yes, it's strange. That's the exact word for it. It's just strange.
Now whether these are like people are saying, okay, these are just underground bunkers for like a nuke, or these are like an underground city for the billionaires to go. The one thing that's kind of weird is I think of like 2016 or 2017, there was like a comet that came really close to hitting the Earth, and out of nowhere, President Obama was at Denver on September 27th. I think the comet was called like E13 or something like that. It's like Comet E13, and it like barely missed us by 22 miles.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so like,
I had no idea about that. I
oh
was just
really?
going about my life.
Yeah, I mean that would have been like 2 years ago. We would have been done for. But like apparently it's supposed to be like a really bad comment. But yeah, like people are saying he had like no business to be like around that area. That he kind of just like mysteriously appeared there.
And he didn't do any speeches or anything like that.
No,
He
nothing
was
like
just
that.
there.
Yeah, he was just there. And people think he was there for obviously the underground bunker.
Now, how do they know he was there? Were there pictures of him, or did Air Force One fly in, or what?
I guess there was like just like descriptions of, oh yeah, I was there at the end, I saw him.
Oh, okay.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing about all these conspiracies. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you should take him with like a grain of salt because it's all hearsay at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean that kind of stuff is hearsay, but the giant demonic horse in the front, that's there. That's not something you can.
That's right there. That's
Yeah,
my
well,
baby.
like my dad was telling me a story about, and he used to fly a lot for his job, and now he's in one place because he went kind of to a different position in his job, but he used to fly a shitload. And he was saying that he was in Georgia one time at the Atlanta airport, and you know how you go up and you look at the TV screen that says like if your flight's on time or delayed or whatever.
Yeah.
And every flight just went boom, 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 like all the way down the line. It said delayed, 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 delayed. And there was a business guy next to him. You know how you see like the businessman pushing around his luggage with a suit on his phone in the airport all the time.
Yeah.
And he looked at him and went, "What the hell's going on? Why did that happen?" And he went, "I've only ever seen this a couple times." The business guy's saying this, and he's like, "I've only ever seen this a couple times, and I fly 3 or 4 times a week, and it's when Air Force One lands.
Oh wow.
They'll put all the planes on a holding pattern, and they'll have the planes fly above, and then the president will land, and then they'll land all the other planes." And sure as shit, about 15 minutes later, Air Force One was on the ground in Atlanta. So if Obama landed in some kind of covert thing, I would imagine it was not on Air Force One.
Yeah.
It was probably on some kind of puddle jumper aircraft.
Some private plane or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird, dude. It's so strange what's going on here. Kind of like this is kind of like the crowning moment for the airport. Have you heard about the paintings that are around?
Well, I'm looking at the picture and I'm waiting for you to bring it up because it's
All right.
terrifying.
Yes. Okay. So
I've used that word several times, but it's terrifying.
no, this picture is like terrifying because there's like no real context. All right. So if you look at the picture, there's what I see as like a soldier.
I love
like,
the guy. The guy.
Yeah, he's just like, what the hell?
What the hell?
Because like who goes to an airport and like is greeted by this thing? You know what I mean? This thing is like, it's
Well,
terrifying. Like you picked the best word for it.
Can I describe it? Are you all right
Yeah.
with that?
Yeah. Go ahead.
The main point, like the focal point in the picture, is this giant soldier wearing Soviet garb. He's got kind of the Russian Soviet war hat and the shoulder tassels, and he's got an AK-47 or an AK in his right hand, which is kind of the Soviet weapon, you know,
Yes.
and in his left hand rather, and then in his right hand he's got this big scimitar, which is a Middle Eastern sword, or I guess the Mongol hordes used to use it as well, but it's this really crazy looking sword, and he's swinging the sword through the air, and the kind of the wake of his swinging sword is a rainbow, which is of course the LGBT colors, you know.
Yeah.
And he's swinging the sword at these children that are lying on the ground on bricks, like rubble.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a white kid, a black kid, and it looks like a Hispanic kid. Like they're different skin colors.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah.
And then I can't really make out what's behind him.
All right. So like the description that I read was there are refugees living in the basement, and the Lord of the Death is watching over them. He is banishing an AK-47 and killing the dove of peace. If you look at the end of his like sword, there's a dove.
Yeah, I see
so, like,
that.
Obviously, like he struck it. Now this was made in the 80s when like rainbow really didn't mean like I guess like kind of what you said, LGBT. It just meant more along the lines of just peace and freedom, you know. So if you kind of follow the trail of the rainbow, it goes like behind his hat, and it goes kind of like through his legs down to refugees, you know what I mean? So it's kind of saying like freedom, and then goes down to like pretty much running for your life.
Well, and it becomes like a smoke trail. The rainbow's gone. Yeah,
it really dwindles down. And you can't really tell from this picture, but okay, you see like behind him, there's kind of like the same as the rainbow. Like it's right underneath the rainbow, but it's kind of like a browner trail, kind of a lot more gray.
Yeah.
That's actually like, let me see if I can send you the picture. But it's actually like older people holding like their babies. Like it looks like dead babies. Let me send it to you.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it should be right underneath that picture.
That's what I want to look at right before I get on a plane.
Well, okay, imagine like landing down and you get out your plane. You see this. It's just terrifying. It's just scary looking. I mean, it's literally saying like the Lord of the Death has just killed peace, and there's kids running for their lives. And there's mothers holding their dead babies.
Yeah, this looks like something out of a horror movie.
Yeah, I mean, this is like terrible.
What the hell? And there's like buildings that have been knocked down in front of him too. Jeez, this looks so World War II.
Yeah,
like Grim Reaper. Jeez.
Yeah, I don't know if you said earlier, but like the guy is wearing a gas mask.
Yeah, I didn't say that. But he's wearing like this really crazy looking gas mask, you know, death shroud looking thing. on his face. Jeez, man.
Just like such a like strange fucking picture. Then right underneath it, we have the second painting. It looks to be as kids in like a jungle, and there's three graves in front of them. There's one that's like an African kid. There's a middle one which is like a Native American. It looks like an older woman, and then on the right,
Oh my
there's like
gosh.
a white girl with like blonde hair and like ponytails.
Yeah, it's
Um,
all the races. They're
yeah.
representing all the races.
And then like there's like these animals that are like dying. So like on like the left you see like a turtle who's like covered in like a fishing net, and on the right you see like a giant rib cage for some sort of animal, and above the rib cage.
I think that's ivory, like tusks,
Oh yeah, got you.
like elephant tusks. I could be
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah. No,
But
yeah, I mean that makes sense. That
then
it
there's
looks
a
just
head of
like
a
it actually.
bison.
Yeah,
And then
a mounted bison.
yeah, then look at the centerpiece. It's this dead jaguar. And it
Yeah,
looks like they're about to eat it or something.
yeah. It also looks like they're trying to like save these animals. I don't know if you can see. They're like putting them in boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and then behind them, there's like the jungle or the forest is like on fire.
Yeah, I think this. I might be able to explain this one. I think this is a whole. The world's burning and the earth is ending and global warming and deforestation, and we're trying to save the animals. The children are trying to save the animals, and there's nothing they can do.
Hmm.
And then Colorado there's a lot of native Indian tribes there,
Yeah.
and there's the native woman below holding the baby.
Hmm.
I think I can explain this more, but then to the bottom right, there's a dead child
Hmm.
in a coffin.
Well, it looks like the whole bottom just three different coffins, doesn't it?
Oh, you're right. Jeez, that is bizarre.
Hmm. And then one thing I noticed is like in the background, there's like a city. I don't know if you see it. It's like away from the fire. It looks perfectly fine. It's just like a city in the back.
Um, well, I think that's to represent the whole, like the cities are thriving
Hmm.
and causing the pollution and deforestation.
Yeah.
I wonder what skyline that is. Because like you can see that there are buildings. I wonder if that's a specific city. Might be Denver.
Yeah. I mean, I could see that,
Jeez.
but I don't know. I don't know why they would hang it up then. Be like, yo.
I can explain this painting more than the last.
Yeah.
That
I mean,
last painting is terrifying.
yeah.
And I have no explanation at all.
Yeah.
That one's really scary. It's very post-apocalyptic, like, or just apocalyptic in general. It's just very odd. But let's talk more about this after the break. We went a little long in the first segment, so we got to go to the break, and we'll be right back. How's it going, everybody? This is Spike from the Purgatory Podcast. When Matt and I decided to start this podcast, neither one of us knew kind of where to start or how to distribute it to different platforms, and that's when we came across the Anchor app. Now, Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast because they give you everything you need in one place for free, which you can use right from your computer or your phone. Different creation tools allow you to record and edit your podcast so it sounds great, and this was the kicker for me. They'll distribute your podcast with no minimum listenership to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and several more. Now, there's really only one more thing left for you to do if you're looking to start a podcast, and that's get out your phone, open your laptop, download the Anchor app, and go to anchor.fm to get started. All right, Madman, we were kind of on a roll. Sorry to break it up, but welcome back from the break. We're talking about these crazy paintings in the Denver airport. Do you know the titles of these?
I couldn't find the titles. I just found like, oh, painting number 1, painting number 2. You know what I mean? Kind of thing. I don't know if they have like actual titles, but people just like refer to them as like numerical.
Jeez. So we had painting number 1, which was the Soviet. I'm gonna say Soviet. He looks super Russian.
Yeah.
You know, he's got the Russian rifle. He's got kind of the Russian war hat, and the terrifying mother holding a dead child. Man. Ugh. Then we had painting number 2 with the burning forest and the dead animals and the wailing children.
Yeah. And then something that people don't really recognize, I guess there's a girl next to like the one in the middle who's holding like a Mayan tablet.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess there's like a date on it alluding to December 21st, 2012. The day that like the Mayan calendar ended. Supposed to be the end of the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, kind of like you said, the first painting is just like it seems very World War II, like death is like and destruction is among us. This one seems a lot more environmentally, I guess, based. Um,
Well, you see in painting number 1 the buildings that are blown down, and you
yeah,
have you ever seen like pictures of cities in Europe that were bombed,
yeah,
and the whole city looks like that. Like
mhm,
literally everything is just leveled, and it looks like that. It looks like they were painting those buildings, you know.
yeah,
Like Stalingrad in Russia was just pebbles, the whole city.
yeah.
So it's amazing. Fighting a war like that, literally in cities, and I can't even imagine that. I hope there's never a war like that again, because with the technology we have now,
Oh,
holy,
dude, yeah, it would be crazy. Like one thing I've always thought about is like if Russia or North Korea wanted to make like a dent on America, who do you think they would go for first, America wise?
well, you'd like to say one of the major metropolis cities on the coast, you know, like
Yeah,
LA or New York or something like that. But I mean, North Korea has launched missiles before,
yeah.
and we shot them down, shot them out of the sky.
Hmm.
So I don't even know that is super possible right now.
Oh,
Um,
really? What about like Russia?
I don't know, man. We're so far up. Russia and us and the U.S. both. We're so far up each other's asses
Hmm.
economically that I don't even think that's kind of the new age of war. Is like we couldn't go to war with China. No fucking way.
Yeah. I
China
mean,
is
yeah,
not
fair
going.
enough.
And we have so much trade with Russia, and we're allies with them, and they're allies with us, and they're allies with these people, but we're allies with these people. It's like the major powers. We're not going to war. Like when was the last time we went to war with a country?
Yeah,
Vietnam. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's been years and years and years and years. So I don't really think, and I mean, North Korea has been rattling their saber for years and going like, "Fuck you, America," and then they do something, and it's like, "Sit the fuck down."
Yeah.
America goes, "Sit the fuck down," and then they go, "All right," and then they
You're
kind of
right.
then they calm down for a few months, you know, and then they do something else, and
Yeah.
I don't think it'll get much farther than that because a full-scale war between the U.S. and North Korea would last like 11 minutes.
Hmm.
But we'll see, man. I think, like I said, the new age of war is information.
Yeah. I mean,
It's who controls the information, who controls the ones and zeros, you know?
yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough.
But this shit is just so weird, kind of bringing
Yeah.
it around. Bringing it around is like, this is in plain sight.
This is
Thousands
like,
of people are coming
yeah.
through this airport every day, walking right past these things. And they're so obvious.
I'm just surprised that there hasn't been like, I don't know, TV shows cover this, or you know what I mean? People just really don't talk about it, which I think is kind of weird. Because it's just there at the airport. You can just get off your flight and see it.
Mhm.
That's what I think is kind of weird about it. But
Yeah.
going on to the next picture, picture number 3, it looks like all is fine in the world. The previous soldier is kind of like, it looks like he looks more like a statue, but he's on the ground now. He's kind of broken.
He's
Um,
dead, yeah.
and then
And the
there's
doves
like,
are on top of him.
yeah, the doves are now on top, there's 2 of them now, and like they're on top of him. But what's kind of weird, okay, so you kind of see everyone there, like every single country is represented through a child.
Hmm.
And what's kind of weird here is they're all handing their weapons to Germany. You see that?
Whoa.
Yeah, like the kid in the middle with the hammer is supposed to represent Germany, and um, but it looks almost as if they're handing him swords and he's destroying them. You see that? He kind of
I
has a hammer, he's kind of
guess.
bending them in half. But I don't know. It's just weird. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I don't know
Yeah,
how else
why
to
did they
best
give all
describe this
that? Why
picture.
did they give the hammer and like all the power to the German kid? You
Yeah.
know. Oh, it's the first Wednesday of the month, and the tornado sirens just came on. Can
Oh
you hear
yeah,
that?
me too. Yeah.
Can you hear it in my end?
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's
Oh, we'll keep talking.
yeah, it's fine. Um, so yeah, what's kind of I don't know, it's so strange. The American kid is like dressed up as a Boy Scout, but he's holding like an American flag that's wrapped around several swords.
Rest in
Um,
peace, Boy Scouts.
rest in peace, Boy Scouts. Um, But yeah, I don't know. This one is almost as creepy as the first one, just because like the soldier's dead, but I don't know. I just think it's so weird that they're just handing the German kid and like all the weapons.
Yeah, that is bizarre. That's very odd. Nothing in a painting is on accident. You
Yeah,
know?
exactly. Like I mean, especially this one. This one's massive. So this one, like they thought it out, and then they had to paint the bad boy, and then yeah. But
Yeah.
I guess also like in the
And then there's a
background,
rainbow again above them.
yeah, it's connected. It's like full again.
Hmm.
But like there's like this like everyone's holding like this like super long like piece of paper that just says like peace in like different languages.
Hmm. I mean, that one's
Yeah.
a more feel-good picture.
Oh yeah, for sure, for
But
sure.
there's still questions. They're still like, what the hell?
Yeah, I mean,
What is
yeah.
that piece of metal right in front of the doves?
Oh
It
yeah,
looks like the tail of a plane or something.
that one I can't tell. I don't know what that is.
It's
But
weird.
but yeah, like towards like uh, it doesn't really show well on this picture, but towards like the bottom right where like the kids are standing, it like like I guess like the base of the statue said like war, violence, and hate, and it's all cracked down the middle. And at the bottom there's like this. It's like a piece of paper, but it's like a quote from a kid that was like that died in Auschwitz.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and it says like, I was once a little child who longed for other worlds, but I am no more a child, for I have known fear. I have learned to hate. How tragic then is youth, which lives with enemies, with gallows ropes. Yet I still believe I only sleep today, that I'll wake up as a child again and start to laugh and play. And that's just like a quote from a kid that died in Auschwitz, and yet they're handing like the weapons to Germany again. Um, so
That's
I don't know. It's just I don't know. It's just such a weird art piece. It's showing peace, but it's like I don't know. It's just quoting like a
Dude,
kid.
well, yo, Hitler was the number one guy that talked about peace all the time.
Exactly.
That was
Yeah.
his thing. It's like we're pursuing peace, we're pursuing this perfect world. This is the final solution, you know?
Yeah.
So just the word peace, is the word peace is a word. And a word
Yeah.
means anything. And a word means what, and if enough people decide that a word means something, then it means that. You know? Like
Yeah.
the word fag meant a bundle of sticks at one point.
Yeah.
Or
And it
I
means like cigarette in like London, right?
right. I'm trying to prove a point here. I'm not using it in
Yeah.
a derogatory way. It's just very odd that this I keep trying to say a coherent freaking phrase, but it's just bizarre. That's all I got, man. It's just
Yeah.
bizarre.
It like I hope if you guys are listening, you guys look these pictures up afterwards or maybe in the middle. But the pictures are just so weird. It's almost like they're trying to tell you something, but they don't want to put it out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like
They definitely have
they're
secret
leading
meanings.
to something and then they don't there's like no payoff.
Exactly.
Maybe that's art though, is if they can provoke thought.
Oh yeah, I mean 100%. It's just like I don't know the correlation between these have like
But
it's almost like
this is not a feel good picture. This is like very unsettling.
yeah like they're definitely double meaning pictures like they're showing you one thing but they're trying to tell you another. Is what I feel like they're trying to do.
Hmm.
Um, and then the final picture at the very bottom is like it's just like I guess peace. You know what I mean? The background is just different kind of landscapes and they're all like healthy in their own way. And then all the kids are kind of feasting on just kind of there's like plant in the middle where they're kind of like,
Yo, what does an ayahuasca flower look like?
oh, is maybe it's like that.
Or like the peyote thing? That
Yeah,
looks like some kind of psychedelic plant.
there's like a plant for those listening. There's like a plant in the middle of all these kids, and it just like this like the leaves are like rainbow colored, and like the
Mm-hmm.
bottoms are just like roots. But yeah, all the kids are happy, and there's geese there just dancing with the kids, little monkeys right there.
Yeah,
Um,
that one looks cooler, but let me fucking.
and then this is one of like this like lets you kind of hallucinate, right?
Yeah, it's got like natural DMT in it or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, that's weird. It looks enough like it that you could be like, oh, that's that, or you could
Oh
just
yeah,
be like,
yeah,
no,
for
it's not.
sure. Well, it kind of has like the same kind of like the top is kind of just shooting up, right? And then the
Yeah.
bottom is kind of just like flooping down, which is kind of like what I see these like resemblance. Um,
Yeah.
it's just so strange because all this like okay, like you could pass it off as like an environmentalist piece, but
Uh-huh.
But to have these at an airport, it just doesn't seem right. You know what I mean? Maybe if
Yeah,
it
an
was a
international
museum.
airport.
Exactly. People are flying in from like different parts of the world. Um, they're just so they're just so strange. You know what I mean? They're just so weird.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, well, we covered the shit out of the paintings.
yeah.
Um, let's talk a little bit more about the actual conspiracy part of it, like this whole underground bunker that you mentioned, like
Got
Obama showing up.
got you. So the two biggest conspiracies are okay. Number one, it's just a fallout shelter, just plain and simple. If you can pay enough money, you'll earn a membership and you can come here if anything happens.
So wait,
It's
the conspiracy theory is that this extra money that they were like $3 billion over budget was they used that to build this underground bunker under the airport, which is
yeah,
centrally located in the United States. It has the natural barrier from like nuclear winds of the Rocky Mountains. You know, it's got all these things that make it a good place for shelter, fallout shelter.
yeah,
And so the conspiracy is that the elites, the Illuminati, the 1%, whatever, created this massive bunker, shelter, whatever, underneath the Denver airport
hmm
so that if shit goes down, the elites can go and hide there, but you have to pay your way. Like you have to buy a ticket.
yeah.
Wow.
It's I mean, yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. The other one is just that like this is just like the meeting place for like the Illuminati. You know what I mean? So the other one is more for like it's a clubhouse for like if any shit goes down. This is more saying that this is like the headquarters for you know what I mean the secret elite up there.
All that
Um
weird shit that Alex Jones talked about.
yeah,
This is
like
where it
no
goes down. It goes down in Denver.
yeah apparently but I mean it it's just like strange to see like the people are saying like there are buildings underneath, you know,
Hmm.
because obviously something's going on down there. I don't know if you've ever seen these videos. It was really popular last year about like there was like secret construction at Walmarts all across the world. I mean, all across the U.S.
Hmm.
where they would close off a Walmart and then people would sneak in and say, "Oh my God, they're building something underneath the WalMarts. Like they're building these like giant buildings down there." And
What?
like, yeah, no, look at it was so strange.
Dude,
Like
that's
people
another podcast. We gotta do that too. That's
Yeah.
weird.
But people were like making YouTube videos of them sneaking in and like showing like what's going on, and then like they would be deleted like the next day, and
Wow.
it was just so strange. But it kind of reminds me of what's going on here. There was a fine airport that wasn't too far away, and then they just used all this money to build a new airport, and then they went over 3 times, and people are saying that there's like secret buildings underneath. You know what I mean? It's just weird because like I hope when you think building, you think like multi-story buildings because apparently that's what it is. It's like these like giant, I guess, yeah, you know?
Well, it coincides with what we talked about in the last episode with these underground alien structures. You know,
Yeah,
the pyramids underground, the
yeah.
excavation and stuff. It's just, why would you do it underground? That doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't you build it on the ground? It'd be
hmm
way less money. You know, that's just bizarre. It's weird. And you're saying that there's plans. People have found plans with it for this. So, yeah, why do that?
And
Someone
then
should have like. There has to be somebody that is pulling the strings to tell the collective them to do that.
hmm
And then you
it's
got all this bizarre art and all these weird subliminal messages. You know,
yeah, that I
and
was
the
gonna say
freaking
like
this flu, this hepatitis strain thing. Like, man, whoo.
that's what I'm saying. Like, even if these things are individually just like justified, it's just so like it's so weird they're like all at the same place. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I've gone to airports and I've never been like, oh, that's weird. I've just been like, okay, you know what I mean? They all generally look the same. You know what I mean? As far as like the
Yeah.
layout inside, everything's like an ad. They're trying to get you to buy everything.
Yeah,
But
they're
this one's just like
$8
weird.
sandwiches and stuff.
Oh, dude, like $20 sandwiches. It's like $8 waters.
Yeah, you're
It's
right.
outrageous. Um, but
$40 neck pillows.
seriously, like it's so bad. I've always had okay, $1 million idea for a listener out there. Start a dollar store at the airport.
Hell yeah.
I'm surprised I haven't done it yet.
All you would need to sell would be like phone chargers.
Yeah, phone chargers,
USB
neck
chargers.
pillows, and you're good. Just like
That's
two
it.
of the most common things. Maybe even just like dollar headphones, because people always
Yeah.
forget their headphones.
And the ones they give you on the flight are like so ass.
Oh yeah, so bad. Just made in like.
And
Never
they don't
mind.
even fit in your ear.
I know they pop out every time. Dude, I've been so tempted because like when you walk by us like first class, they have like those like the free Bose headphones,
Oh yeah.
and it's like empty seats. Always been so tempted like to just grab one. You know what I mean? Like no one's losing there. They got like bins of these bad boys in the back.
Yeah.
I have nobody's
Nobody's losing until you get pulled off the flight.
and then you lose your flight. Yeah.
Yeah, you lose there.
But
You
yeah.
only do it from the Denver airport.
No, don't do it from Denver.
Don't do it there.
They're gonna pull you off the flight. And they're gonna take you underground. You're gonna be like,
underground
fuck, I'm done.
city. No, that's what it is. It's just a jail, and it's full of people that stole Bose headphones.
Yeah, crack the code, guys. No more investigating. But
we don't need to talk about the paintings. That we solved it.
I would personally, I would like love to go here and just kind of like see it for myself and kind of, because everything I talked about are the main points. But I kind of feel like there would be more things. You know what I mean?
Let's fucking go, dude.
I'm down to go someday. I definitely want to go just to Denver, just like because I've been there once before and it's a really cool city. Yeah, so I wouldn't mind making like the drive out to the airport and just kind of like spending a whole day just exploring there and taking pictures. Because some of these pictures are pretty bad. They don't capture the whole kind of setting. Because I would like to see like what's around the picture. You know what I mean? Like, is there like a food court around, or is there like a shop around? Because yeah,
dude, if we went, we could like split a hotel. And we wouldn't be buying a plane ticket, obviously. So that we could do the whole thing for like $150 a piece.
So yeah, I mean,
it wouldn't be expensive at all.
Some 3-day weekend would be nice.
Yeah, it'd be so easy to do.
Coming soon, boys.
Yeah.
First vlog, Denver Airport. I definitely want to see this horse, dude.
We could do a podcast from the hotel room, like immediately after.
Yeah, that'd be dope. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah. This is another one that's fun to think about because it's hiding in plain sight. You know, it's right under our nose. It's right in the middle of the country.
One thing I like no one ever talks about this. You know what I mean? Like people go to airports every day, and no one ever talks about this weird ass airport that has all these pictures of death, has a demon coming out of a suitcase, has a horse on the front that killed a man. It killed its own creator.
Yeah.
It's just so strange. No one ever talks about it, and I would love to go.
That's literally like a horror movie script. You know?
Yeah. Exactly.
What's interesting is when you say the words or phrase conspiracy theory, you get lumped in with the gay frogs or the, like the human experimentation. You get lumped in with the crazies.
Yeah.
And this one is just, it's interesting. I've reiterated this about 20 times, but I'm going to say it again. Like when we say conspiracy, we're just saying something that's interesting, something that's fun to talk about and to challenge your mind.
We're kind of covering it as like an everyday Joe's take on this. You know what I mean? We're not saying like, oh, this is a fact. You know what I mean? Like this is this is what we believe in. This is our 24/7.
Mm-hmm. I want this show to be consumable to like. I would love to do this in a bar. This is the kind like this conversation is one I would have at a bar over a few drinks. You know what I mean? That's the kind of conversation I'm shooting for. And really anything that fits into that, like I'm down to talk about on the show. If you could see yourself shooting the shit about it in a bar with some friends with a few drinks, let's talk about it on the show.
For sure.
This has been fun, man. This has been a good one.
Yeah.
And it's very abstract. It's not like this happened on this day, so that means this. It's just like there's a bunch of weird shit there.
Yeah.
So that's fun to talk about. It's all the weird stuff.
Yeah.
So that's coming soon. That's got to be coming soon.
Yeah,
Let's
for
make
sure.
a weekend trip out to Denver. We could leave on a Friday, stay there Friday night, Saturday night, maybe smoke a little dope.
Maybe consume some of the edibles. I don't know. But
why
definitely
not?
Worth
When in Rome.
When in Rome, yeah, exactly.
When in Denver.
Take a bunch of edibles, walk around the airport.
Hell yeah.
That
sounds like fun.
For sure. But yeah, I hope if to any of the listeners that didn't know about this place, I hope you guys know about it now or would do some more like looking into it. It's definitely weird and cool. I guess is the best way to sum it up.
Well, this has been a great show. It's been a great time. Everybody have a very safe 4th of July. Because I remember as a kid, every year there was a story of some kid that blew their thumb off on the 4th of July.
For sure. Like every year, some kids missing fingers.
So, and every year, the next 2 or 3 days on news, it's all about like 3 people were maimed in a backyard fireworks display. Don't be that person. Be safe. Don't be stupid. Make sure you got water on hand. Don't burn your house down. Be smart on the 4th. Stay hydrated. It's going to be hot as shit where we are.
Yeah.
So stay hydrated. I feel like everybody's mom right now telling them to be careful.
Be safe, dude. Because I remember being a teenager, getting drunk and throwing firecrackers at each other, or shooting each other with like Roman candles.
Yeah, Roman candle fights.
We could have. I could be blind right now, but narrowly escaped.
There's this guy.
Be safe.
There's this guy at work that was talking about how he has permanent hearing damage. He has tinnitus because he was throwing M80s like into a trash can and then blowing the lid off the trash can over and over.
Nice.
And he thought one was a dud, and he went over, took the lid off, bang, and like he was doing like like trying to see if he could fucking hear still.
Yeah, those.
Like, I gotta sleep with the fan on now. All right, let's bring it around. Everybody, be safe on the 4th. Have a great holiday. Tell your friends, tell your fam, like, share, sub, and
follow us on Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Share. We already said that. But make sure to keep coming back for your weekly trip to Purgatory.
Bye.